This video demonstrates high availability using Microsoft Failover Clustering for reporting services with Microsoft SQL Server 2016 Standard Edition. We know that Standard Edition does not support Microsoft's implementation of high availability for SSRS called scale-out deployment. So this solution uses a Failover Cluster Instance to make the web front end of a SQL Server reporting server highly available. The example I will show you uses a 2-node cluster with shared iSCSI storage. This failover cluster has 3 SQL Server virtual failover cluster instances. We will be using one reporting database on the production server called SQL 2016 IMIS. This is a standard deployment of SQL Server Failover Cluster Instance on a Microsoft Failover cluster. The virtual SQL Server has dedicated storage, which is where the single reporting database is located. There is only one reporting database in this solution, so there is no need for replication between multiple databases. The reporting services feature of SQL Server has also been installed on both cluster nodes as a separate SQL Server instance. A SQL Server Reporting Services SSRS server role was created. This role contains a dedicated IP address and a server name called ZOD. It also contains the SQL Server Reporting Services service that is responsible for controlling the services on both cluster nodes. The SSRS role starts and stops the SSRS service on each node as necessary. The other cluster resource in this solution is a custom SSRS cluster-aware application. This cluster-aware application provides a completely automated solution for SQL Server reporting services high availability using Microsoft Failover Clustering. Now let's take a look at SQL Server reporting services in production. We can see when using a browser that the reporting server ZOD is available. If we stop the SSRS role, we see the reporting server ZOD is no longer available. When we start the SSRS role, we see the reporting server ZOD is available again. Now let's perform a failover of the SSRS cluster role to the other node. We see the cluster-aware application starts first, then the IP address and server name come online, and then the SQL Server Reporting Services service comes online. We see from our browser window that the reporting server ZOD is still online and available, even though it's now running on a different cluster node. If we stop the service, of course, the reporting server stops responding as well. If we bring the service back online, the reporting server ZOD responds again. When we perform another failover, back to the first node, we see the cluster aware application starts first, then the IP address and server name comes online, and then the SSRS server comes online. And of course, our reporting server Zod is still online and available no matter which cluster node it's on.